Hi, I love to be motivated, and I'd like to share with you a little motivational story with you today. I think it's perhaps the best metaphor for life little story that I've ever come across. So if you're stuck in your life at any level, then this is for you. It's very short, so let's get into it. It's called The Two Seeds. And of course, it's about two seeds that are buried in the soil. And one day, the first seed turns to the second one and says, "Look, I've been thinking, and I'd like to bury my way up to the surface, burrow my way up to the surface and break surface and see the sunlight and grow and develop and reach my potential and maybe have a little impact on the world and make other people happy as a result of my presence in the world." And the second seed thinks about this and says, "Yeah, okay, but don't you realise that how difficult it would be to actually get to the surface and all the obstacles that would be in your way? And then if and when you did get there, the sun would scorch you, and if it wasn't scorching you, then the rain would be pounding on you. No, I think it's much better that you stay down here and be safe with me." The first seed says, "Well, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's worth the risk, so I'm going for it." And so he does. He starts reaching through the soil, and yes, it was a difficult and a time-consuming journey, and he came across obstacles, little stones that he had to grow around, but eventually he reaches the surface. And he starts reaching upwards and growing and developing the flower that he wants to be. And the sun does come out and scorches him. And then the rain does come and it pounds on him. But he reaches his potential and turns into a beautiful flower. And people walk by and they smile when they see him. And he smiles inside too, knowing that he's had that little impact on the world and he's changed things a little bit with his presence. Just then, a hungry bird lands nearby and starts pecking in the soil and finds the other seed and eats it for lunch. Now the moral of this is that if you stay small, if you stay hidden, the world is a big place and it will swallow you up. Now I hope you enjoy that story, and I don't know if you might need to think about it a little bit more, because there's layers and layers of metaphor in there. Let's begin with the seed telling the first seed, the ambitious one, not to try and grow. It tries to hold it back. And anyone that has tried starting their own business or tried leaving the security of a job and developing their own business, they will tell you that family and friends have tried to talk them out of it and stop them from taking that risk. And isn't that exactly what the first seed or the second seed says in this story? No, don't take the chance, stay down here safe and in the dark with me. But what that seed is really saying is, don't grow, don't develop, and don't be happy, because that will make me unhappy by comparison, because I won't be as happy as you and I'll be jealous. And that's what it's really saying. Not that that's what friends and relatives are trying to do to you. I mean, they're trying to protect you, but in life, that is generally what people are saying below the surface when they try to discourage you from doing something. And then we've got the seed reaching through the soil, trying to get to the surface. And again, anyone who has ever achieved something big will tell you that there's no straight line between their current position and success. That line isn't straight, it's wiggly, and you have failures and mistakes along the way. Like the seed reaching a stone and it has to go around it. In life, this is a metaphor for making those mistakes. For instance, if you were to go and ask that person out on a date and they said no for whatever reason, then you might have to go through that process another 5 times before you learn from your mistake and you realise why they're saying no. And you'd perhaps have to go away and do a little bit of personal development, do some confidence building, get some life experiences and develop yourself a little bit more as a person, and then go back as a more interesting person and ask for a date and get a yes. But if you never went and asked in the first place and never got the rejection or the feedback, you wouldn't learn and you wouldn't change your direction and you wouldn't reach the surface. You wouldn't grow a thicker skin and be prepared for when the sun comes out and tries to scorch you. And this is what's happening in this story. The sun and the rain, they're not your adversaries. They're not trying to crush you and keep you from developing. In reality, even though it might feel that way, you know, the slingshots and arrows of life that they feel like they're all there to prevent you from reaching your goal. But what they're actually doing is making you stronger. The sun and the rain was feeding the seed and helping it to grow it. They weren't trying to pound it back into the ground or scorch it. They were helping to shape it. And this is the top level of the metaphor here, before the story comes full circle to the bird landing and eating up the first seed, who stayed safe and small in the ground and wouldn't come out of its comfort zone. And so that seed remained small and vulnerable to life as life passes it by. I hope you've enjoyed that story, and I hope you'll come back for more, because this is only the first. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll enjoy your company again on another day. Bye for now.